Hello. Today I'll be talking about a fascinating and often overlooked group of people known as the Bajo or Bajau, sometimes called the sea nomads. For centuries, the Bajau have lived an extraordinary life on the ocean, free diving into incredible depths, surviving the sea, and building a culture deeply tied to nature. Most people don't even know the Bajau exist, and honestly, I didn't either until I started digging into this topic. I thought it was just going to be another culture project, but the more I learned and the more I realized how unique they really were. Imagine growing up on a boat your whole life and barely stepping foot on land. That's such a cool and totally different way of seeing the world. In this presentation, I will walk you through the history of the Bajau people and what their culture looks like today, and what communication lessons we can learn from them to become more effective and aware communicators. His, the Baojao are an ethnic group found mainly in maritime Southeast Asia, especially in coastal areas of Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Philippines. Unlike many other cultures, the Baojao have traditionally lived on the sea, spending most of their lives on houseboats known as lepa lepa. There are actually several different Baojao groups across Southeast Asia, and not all of them live the same way. Some are fully nomadic and constantly on the move, while others have settled into stilt villages that sit over the water. That variety shows how adaptable they are within their own culture. Another interesting thing about the Bajau is their relationship with family and community. Since they often live on boats or in close knit stilt villages, everyone in the community plays a role. Kids start learning how to fish, dive, and navigate at a super young age. Also, the way they build their boats and homes is super impressive because a lot of it is done using traditional methods and local materials, no fancy machines or power tools. Everything's done by hand, and some families decorate their lepa lepa with carvings and colors that represent their clan or region. These weren't just transportation, it was literally their house. And in some Baojao families, boats were passed down through generations like property or land in other cultures. Another cool thing about the culture is the more detailed the carvings in their lepa lepa, the more respected the families were. Historians believe that the Baojao have lived this nomadic sea-based life for over 1,000 years. Something like something I found interesting is that the Baojao weren't just out there floating around for hundreds of years. They were actually part of major sea trade networks as well. They would trade things like pearls and sea cucumbers with inland communities. So even though they were ocean based, they were still really connected to the wider world. Their daily survival was rooted in fishing, trading, and navigating open waters, sometimes going weeks or months without setting foot on land. Although many Baojao communities today are Muslim, their spiritual beliefs also include animistic practices related to the ocean. For example, some still hold rituals to honor sea spirits for protection or good luck while diving. Over time, colonial powers and national governments began to establish borders which disrupted their free movement across seas. Current cul- well, Today, the Baojao face a mix of modern challenges and cultural preservation. In many areas, they've been forced to move onto land due to fishing restrictions, government policies, or environmental changes. However, some still live entirely or partially on the sea. One of the most amazing things about the Baojao is their natural ability to free dive. Some can dive over 200 feet and stay underwater for 5 to 13 minutes without an oxygen tank. A 2018 scientific study found that the Baojao divers actually have larger spleens than average people, which helps them store more oxygen in their blood while diving. Scientists also found that they have a stronger mammalian dive reflex, which is when your body slows down your heart rate underwater to conserve oxygen. It's almost like their body shifts into diving mode. This is one of the few known examples of human evolution adapting to extreme environmental conditions in a single population. Their communication style is also unique because diving and fishing require silent coordination. They have developed strong nonverbal communication skills relying on hand signals, facial expressions, and context. Much of what communicated is understood through shared knowledge and subtle cues rather than being spoken directly. An issue the Baojao face is climate change. As the levels rise and marine ecosystems are damaged, their traditional way of life becomes harder to maintain. Overfishing, coral reef destruction, and political instability have also threatened their livelihood. In some places, younger Baojao members have started working in tourism, especially in places like Sabah, Malaysia, where tourists come to dive and snorkel. Some Baojao are now working as dive instructors or boat guides because of their insane knowledge of the ocean. But in places like Malaysia, a lot of Baojao are considered stateless, meaning they aren't officially recognized as citizens. This means they can't go to school, get jobs with benefits, and have no healthcare access. It creates this weird situation where they are native to the region but still don't have basic rights. The Baojiao show us the importance of adapting communication to environment. Their lifestyle depends on nonverbal cues, patience, and harmony. This is a powerful reminder that communication isn't just about talking, it's about listening, watching, and working together without always needing words. Their deep connection to environment also teaches us the value of being in tune with nature. They understand tides, currents, and animal behavior in ways that are almost instinctive. That level of awareness reflects a kind of intelligence and communication with nature that we often overlook in modern society. Learning about the Baojiao encourages us to practice cultural humility, to approach other people's ways of life with curiosity instead of judgment, and to see value in communication styles different from our own. They have built a whole system of intelligence that isn't based on school or books, it's based on experience, instincts, and survival. Their story reminds us that the most unconventional ways of life carry deep wisdom and that learning about them can make us better, more open minded communicators. The Baojiao are proof that there's no normal way to live because the more we learn about cultures like theirs, the more we understand how flexible and creative humans really are. This story made me realize that there's more than one way to live and more than one way to communicate. I believe that's something we can all take with us no matter where we're from. Thanks for listening. And the sources that I got for my presentation are, the first one is called The Baojiao People, Sea Nomads of the Far East, written by Kara Goldfarb. The second one is Sea Nomads Are First Known Humans Genetically Adapted to Diving, written by Sarah Gibbons. And the third is Baojiao Sea Nomads Have Genetically Evolved to Become Expert Freedivers, written by Emma Beswick.